we're not here to talk about the good stuff today. We're here to talk about the challenges. I think in this business, it's all too common for people to, have this Facebook lifestyle, right? Oh, everything's great, everything's perfect, blah, 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 blah. Screw that, man. Tell me what sucks. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me, what's hard and how you're overcoming it, because I can learn a lot more from that than I can, oh, I posted this thing on TikTok and sold 30 houses from it, right? Like that doesn't help me. Tell me what's really going on. So, Jason, first of all, thank you for joining me on Club Wealth TV today. Tell me real quick, number one, when you joined Club Wealth, where were you at? How many transactions were you closing a year?
This is going to sound opposite of everything that you probably heard, Mike. I probably need to go a step further behind that. I was in a different coaching program and had a falling out. Coaching completely changed my business. I'd been in the business for 15 years, was the typical agent, 15, 20, 25 deals, not doing nearly my potential. Got into coaching, blew my business up. 21, had a fallout with my coach in that organization. We were the number one team in the globe for Century 21. And we were competing against teams with 20 agents, and there was 3 of us.
Yep.
My problem was I'd gone backwards. I'd lost the work-life balance. And at the end of the year, they're all patting me on my back, and I'd never felt like such a failure. I hadn't seen my kid. I hadn't seen my family. So I got into coaching to streamline my business and to get a little bit of that work-life balance back. So we're actually down from where we were. But again, that was a COVID bubble and a perfect scenario in the perfect part of Florida for that time. But we are more profitable, which is obviously volume over. I'll take profit over volume every day and twice on Sundays.
Okay, I love what you're saying here. So hold on, I want to put this in. So profit is up as well as time with family. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's always a struggle. It seems like you get the time with family, then you start dipping a little bit, so you do more, and then I think that's a pendulum that's always kind of shifting on you, but definitely better than it was, way better than it was.
So, and I'm curious, who was this other coaching company you were with prior to?
Tom Ferry.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I like Tom. I think Tom's a good guy. I think he means well. He's done a great job building an amazing coaching organization. It's huge. You got to give the guy.
Everybody I sent over there, everybody I recruited over there hated their coach. I
Really?
loved my coach. I was very fortunate. I think the majority of their coaches are so far from the business that, and I'm not trying to talk bad about other places,
No.
just the truth. They're so far from the business now that they knew how it worked 5 years ago, and they've got this one plan that's supposed to work for everybody. And that's what I fell in love with when we came over to Club Wealth was, one, it's not 30 minutes every other week and you're on your own the rest of the time. I mean, we were just getting caught up on our call, and now the call's over and I'll see you in 2 weeks. It's the constant, and then having the tier. My coach was 5 levels ahead of me, having the person that's 1 or 2 that was just recently through what you've been through to walk you step by step through what's currently working for them and what they use to get through that has been pivotal for us.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because truth be told, like it doesn't do me good. Like, or if somebody's in tier 1, they're doing 0 to 25 transactions. It doesn't do any good to have me as their coach, right? Because I haven't been in
It's going to be
tier 1 in
overwhelming.
25
It's
years.
going to be overwhelming. Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm gonna be like, hey, there's this great lead source over here. It's 10 grand a month. You should check it out. And they're like, what? Are you kidding me? Like that wouldn't work for them, right? And so that being said, we have coaches who were just in tier 1 last year and they're in tier 2 this year. And so, it really, to your point, it makes a big difference to have a coach who's recently been where you are now and made it beyond that. I agree with you. I think that's
and then the immersion, Mike, doing an hour a month is nothing. You can't get it. The immersion where you can do 8 hours of live calls every month, 10 hours probably if you do some of the specialty niches. There's just a world of difference in that. And then all of the resources I've never had when I was with them for 3.5 years, I never had anybody reach out to me about helping me with a specific system or issue. It's a monthly thing. On one of the group calls, somebody will hear you're having a challenge with your CRM. Oh, I use the same CRM. Let me walk you through that. And you're on the phone 30 minutes later. It's been just a completely different experience, and we can't imagine going anywhere else.
I love you for saying that's nice of you to say that. And I got to give a shout out to everybody in Club Wealth. I mean, it's really you think about the community here, and
Mm,
I think what we really have here at Club Wealth is you've got a lot of just really, really humble, good people that just happen to be very successful, right?
yes.
And I think that we've been really fortunate. I think when people start getting that, and people do, everybody goes through the pride cycle. We all do. I do. We all do. Where we kind of get, puffed up in our own, success or whatever. Kind of like you were talking about, at one point in time, people are like, oh, you're doing all this business and blah, 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 blah. It's so great. And you must be the best. And it's amazing. And blah. And you're just like, dude, this sucks. Like my family life
Yeah.
is just taking a hit, right? It's just,
Yeah.
and so, I love that, when people kind of get into that prideful cycle, they just kind of find their way out of Club Wealth. And sometimes they come back, they get humble again and they come back. And that being said, to your point, and I want to say this loud and clear, I hope everybody that hears this and is watching this hears, no success in the world can compensate for failure in the home, right? I mean, that's our core
Yeah.
value at Club Wealth, right? And you're living that. I mean, you went from this environment where it was success at all costs. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of coaching companies out there like that, right? They're just, big numbers at all costs. It doesn't matter what it means to your family. It doesn't matter what it means to the rest of your life. And what happens is that the rest of it gets lost. You have figured out that, look, you know what? I'd rather profit more and not work quite as much and be able to spend more time with my family. That's a better lifestyle. And I don't need the
It's a
accolade.
better quality of business. What we found when we were turning that volume was everybody was a number. Our repeat business from customers from those couple of years are not even close to a fraction of what they were previously and since. Because again, when you're turning that kind of volume, everybody turns into a unit. They're not a person. And we did not care for that either. Again, there was a lot of personal things going on why we had to change it, but it was also affecting just the way I felt about the industry.
Well, and that affects how you treat everybody, right? Whether it's your clients, whether it's your team, whether it's your family, that permeates every part of our lives, right? And so, I think that's really pertinent. I hope that people are hearing this loud and clear because it's easy to get caught up in that. Tell me some of the things that you've done differently since then, since you've now been in Club Wealth. What are some of the things you've done differently that have helped you to put your family, as a higher priority, to, be more profitable and to deliver greater value to obviously to your sphere of influence and your clients?
Again, so I hate to use this term, but it's almost like even time blocking with your family.
Mhm. Yeah.
I used to be out of the house before my son got out of bed. Now, well, he's on summer break right now, so he sleeps in later. That's his, but usually every morning we're spending 30 minutes together, and I don't leave the house until after. Therefore, we have those 30 minutes. And then same thing at night. Get home and I made a point that we were going to eat dinner together. And sometimes that dinner's at 7:15, 7:30, and he has to wait, but we eat dinner together. And then I penciled out Saturday afternoon. Saturdays tend to be busy in our market. But Saturday afternoons, him and I go and do something together. And over that 18 months where I was doing so much success, both my brothers passed away and my dad passed. And I didn't even have time to grieve it. There was so much going on, so many people relying on me. It was right back to it. And then when the third one hit and there was like nobody left, it was like, okay, I can't do this to my son. And so it had to be revamped. So now even sometimes he comes and sets up signs with me. We're putting up signs. I'll make him come put up the signs with me just so he's hanging out with dad in the car, doing something. But we make that a priority. And then we do family trips. I pencil them in. I don't care what's going on. The world could be crashing. We have these 3 family trips that they're 3-day weekends, whatever's going on. And before we would cancel, we would move things around. We would shorten trips, to make sure the business was taken care of. A lot of it, one of the stuff that really made me do is figure out, and I know we've talked about this, the ego is the number one thing about giving something up. And I would not rely on other people, so I wouldn't delegate enough to that I could take those days off. And 80%, what's your line there? 80% done by somebody else is 100% awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get somebody to do it 80% as well as you can, that's a victory. 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and it's hard for people to give up control in that way, right? I mean, it's
Well, I've had the same assistant through the swing here, and she's like, no, you used to have a serious issue about delegation. Now you almost over delegate. She goes,
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I would much rather over delegate, right?
That's right.
Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.